Epic, stylized as Epic, is a 2013 American animated fantasy action-adventure film loosely based on William Joyce's 1996 children's book The Leaf Men and the Brave Good Bugs. 7/8 produced by Blue Sky Studios in association with 20th Century Fox Animation. It was directed by Chris Wedge from a screenplay written by Joyce, James V. Hart, Daniel Scheer, and the writing team of Tom J.Astle and Matt Ember, based on a story conceived by Joyce, Hart, and Wedge. It stars the voices of Colin Farrell, Josh Hutcherson, Amanda Seyfried, Christoph Waltz, Aziz Ansari, Chris O'Dowd, Pitbull, Jason Sudeikis, Steven Tyler, and Beyoncé Knowles. In the film, after teenager Mary Catherine gets shrunk and teleported to a tiny woodland kingdom inhabited by talking slugs, flower people and tiny soldiers called leafmen, she is swept up in a wild adventure between good and evil and, alongside her new friends, must fight to protect the world she never knew existed. Epic was internationally released on May 16, 2013, and in the United States on May 24, by 20th Century Fox, following in its premiere on Ziegfeld Theatre on May 18. The film received generally mixed reviews from critics and was a moderate box office success, grossing $268 million against its $93 million budget. Plot: after her mother dies, 17-year-old Mary Catherine, M.K., moves in with her eccentric scientist father Professor Bomba in Danbury, Connecticut. Bomba spent his life researching the leafmen, tiny humanoid soldiers who protect the neighboring forest from wicked creatures called boggans. MK is irritated by her father's work, believing his theories to be nonsense. Meanwhile, Nod, an independent yet rebellious young leafman, decides to quit, much to the ire of his no-nonsense leader Ronan, who promised Nod's late father he would look out for him. The forest's benevolent ruler, Queen Tara, must choose her successor and arrives at a pool of lily pods, occupied by Mub, a laid-back slug, and Grub, a wannabe leafman snail. Immediately after she chooses a pod, the boggans attack and overwhelm the leafman, while Tara flees with Ronan on his hummingbird mount. The pair are pursued by the boggans leader Mandrick and his son Dada, who is killed by Ronan, but it allowed Mandrick to badly wound Tara with an arrow. MK decides to leave after getting into an argument with Bomba about his research. Outside, MK encounters the falling Tara, who entrusts the pod to her, shrinks her with magic, and tells her to take it to Nemgaliu, a glowworm wizard, before finally dying. MK is accompanied by Ronan, Mub, and Grub, while Ronan recruits a reluctant Nod after saving him from short-tempered toad gangster Bufo. Ronan, Nod, MK, Mub, and Grub meet Nemgaliu, who informs them that the pod must bloom that night, while exposed to the light of the full moon. When Ronan leaves, Nod takes MK on a deer ride and they begin to fall for each other. Thirsty for revenge for his son's death, Mandrick interrogates Bufo for the pod's location. Mandrick goes to Nemgaliu's place, where he learns that if the pod blooms in darkness, it will birth a dark prince who will help Mandrick destroy the forest. He takes the pod and kidnaps Mub and Grub. Ronan scolds Nod for not being there to protect the pod. To get into Boggan territory undiscovered, MK, Nod, and Ronan enter Bomba's house to get some disguises. There, MK learns that the leafmen have deliberately been leading Bomba off their trail the whole time. Bomba spies them and captures MK, but faints when he sees her. MK marks the location of Moonhaven on a map of the forest before rejoining Nod and Ronan. Upon reaching Boggan territory, Ronan causes a distraction while MK and Nod rescue Mub, Grub, and the pod. An outnumbered Ronan sacrifices himself to ensure the others escape. Before the full moon can open the pod at Moonhaven, Mandrick's bats block the light, causing the pod to begin blooming in darkness. While the leafmen set out to fight the boggans, MK tries to get her father's attention by using the various cameras he had set in the forest. However, upon regaining consciousness, Bomba concludes that he has been insane all these years and begins scrapping his research, but he changes his mind when he sees the red pushpin that MK had put on his map. Bomba is overjoyed to see that he has been right and follows MK to Moon Haven. MK uses the bat sounds on Bomba's iPod to lure Mandrake's bats away. Meanwhile, Mub and Nimgaleo try to stop Mandrake from reaching the pod, but are unsuccessful. Just then, Ronan reappears, having survived the attack. He is outdone by Mandrake, but Nod, who finally realizes the importance of teamwork, comes to his aid. Before Mandrake can obtain his victory, the pod fully blooms in moonlight, as Mandrake is consumed by the burl of a nearby tree. A flower child who earlier aided in Tara's escape is made the new queen. Grub becomes a leafman, Nod and Ronan reconcile, and Nod and MK share a kiss before MK is returned to her original size. MK reunites with Bomba and later becomes his assistant. The two of them remain in contact with their small friends as they continue the research of their world. Voice cast: Amanda Seyfried as Mary Catherine MK. Bomba, Professor Bomba's daughter. 9/10 She is named after William Joyce's late daughter. 11. Josh Hutcherson as Nod, a rookie Leafman warrior, Ronan's student, and Mary Catherine's love interest. 9. Colin Farrell as Ronan, a seasoned Leafman warrior, leader of the Leafman, Nod's guardian and teacher, and a friend of Nod's late father. 9. Christoph Waltz as Mandrake, the cruel and snide owner of the Boggans. 12. Waltz also voiced Mandrake in the German dub of the film. 13-14. Beyoncé Knowles as Queen Tara, the Mother Nature-like queen of the forest and Ronan's childhood love. 9. Aziz Ansari as Mub, a slug, Grub's best friend and caretaker of the pods. 9-12. Chris O'Dowd as Grub, a snail, Mub's best friend and fellow caretaker of the pods. 12. Pitbull as Bufo, a toad who works as a race fixer and a businessman. 9. Jason Sudeikis as Professor Radcliffe Bumbo 15M.K's father and a scientist. 9-12. Steven Tyler as Nimgaleo, a glowworm, a showman, and keeper of magic scrolls that tell what has occurred during the times, in a tree. 9. Blake Anderson as Dada, Mandrake's son, and the Boggans' general officer. After his death, Mandrake is intent on destroying the forest. 10-16. Judah Friedlander as Larry, a taxi driver. Thomas F. Wilson as Finn, second in command of the Leafman. His name only appears in the closing credits. John DiMaggio as Pinconjin. Rosa Salazar as Roller Derby Girl. Kyle Kinane as Biker Dude. Emma Kenny as Marigold Girl. Production. In 2006, it was reported that Chris Wedge would be directing an animated feature film based on William Joyce's book, The Leaf Men and the Brave Good Bugs for Fox Animation. Joyce, who had already collaborated with Wedge as a designer and producer on the 2005 film Robots, was set to produce the film. 17 At one point, Wedge got permission to find a new home for the film and turned to Pixar, led by John Lasseter, a close friend that Wedge knew from working on Tron. When Pixar tried to close the rights for the film and start development, which would have been its first film adaptation of an existing work and a departure from its penchant of basing all of its films on original ideas, Fox changed their mind, and the film returned to Fox. The film was officially greenlit in 2009, under the title Leaf Men. 8 In May 2012, Fox announced the final title for the film, Epic, its first cast details, and a plot. 9 According to Wedge, he was unsatisfied with the renaming, which was decided by the marketing department. He also expressed dissatisfaction with subtitles given to the film in some non-English countries, including the French subtitle, The Battle of the Secret Kingdom. 18. Although the film is based on and borrows many characters from Joyce's book, its plot has been significantly changed. Wedge explained, W. Heil Bill wrote a wonderful book, it is a quaint story. We wanted to make a gigantic action-adventure movie. To address online speculations about whether the film is similar to other films, like Ferngully, The Last Rainforest or Avatar, Wedge said, I hate to associate it with other movies. It is adventure on the scale of Star Wars. And it does immerse the audience completely in a world like Avatar. But it has its own personality. 12. Release. The film was internationally released starting with May 16, 2013. 1. In the United States, it premiered on May 18, 2013, at the Ziegfeld Theater in New York City 2 and was theatrically released on May 24, 2013. 12. Home media. Epic was released on DVD, Blu-ray and Blu-ray 3D on August 20, 2013. 1920 On January 29, 2021, Epic was made available to Disney Plus subscribers, following the Walt Disney Company's acquisition of both 20th Century Fox and Blue Sky Studios in 2019, but it later got removed from the service on May 1, 2021 due to pre-existing contracts. 21-22 It was later added again as part of the Hulu hub. Status, January 2024. Reception. Box office. Produced on a budget of $93 million for 5, Epic grossed $107.5 million in North America, and $160.9 million in other countries, for a worldwide total of $268.4 million. 6. In North America, the film earned $9.3 million on its opening day 5 and opened to number 4 in its first weekend, with $33.5 million and $42.8 million over the 4-day Memorial Weekend, Friday, Monday, behind Fast and Furious 6, The Hangover Part 3, and Star Trek Into Darkness. 23-24 In its second weekend, the film dropped to number 5, grossing an additional $16.6 million. 25 In its third weekend, the film stayed at number 5, grossing $11.9 million. 26 In its fourth weekend, the film dropped to number 7, grossing $6.3 million. 27 While the film was overshadowed by other animated films that summer including Monsters University and Despicable Me 2, the film finished in third out of 6 family films that summer, and became a moderate box office success. 28. Critical reception. Epic received mixed to positive reviews from critics. On the review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes, 65% of 125 critics' reviews are positive, with an average rating of 5.8/10. The website's consensus reads, though its narrative themes are all too familiar, Epic is beautifully animated and crafted with just enough flair to make for solid family entertainment. 29. Another review aggregation website, Metacritic, which assigns a normalized rating out of 100 top reviews from mainstream critics, calculated a score of 52 out of 100 based on 30 reviews, indicating mixed or average reviews. 30 audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an A grade on an A+ to F scale, while specifically child audiences gave it an A+ grade. 31. Stephen Lee of Entertainment Weekly gave the film a B+, saying the story lacks the specialness of a Pixar movie. It retreads the same eco-battle archetypes as Ferngully and Avatar, but it's a perfectly appealing explosion of color for a lazy summer day. 32. Michael Reichchaffen of The Hollywood Reporter gave the film a mixed review, saying where the animated film comes up short is on the inspiration front. Despite the intriguing terrain, its stock inhabitants lack the sort of unique personality traits that would prevent them from feeling overly familiar. 33. Michael Phillips of the Chicago Tribune gave the film 2 stars, saying it's difficult to keep its story and characters, or even its visual design, in your mind's eye, in part because the 5 credited screenwriters overload the narrative with incident and threatening complication. 34. Moira MacDonald of the Seattle Times gave the film 3.5 stars out of 4, saying the story's simple enough to appeal to young kids. The 8-year-old with me pronounced the movie awesome, but adults will enjoy the beautiful animation, whether 3D or 2D. 35. Stephen Holden of the New York Times gave the film 2.5 stars out of 5, saying as beautiful as it is, Epic is fatally lacking in visceral momentum and dramatic edge. 36. Accolades. Awards. Award date of ceremony, category, recipients and nominees. Result. Annie Awards 37 February 1, 2014. Animated effects in an animated production. Alan Lai, David Cruz, Diego Garzon Sanchez, and Elon Gabai nominated. Character animation in an animated feature production. Tom Roberts nominated. Directing in an animated feature production. Chris Wedge nominated. Music in an animated feature production. Danny Elfman nominated. Production design in an animated feature production. Michael Knapp, Greg Couch, and William Joyce nominated. Black Reel Awards 38 2014. Outstanding Voice Performance. Beyoncé. Knowles nominated. Casting Society of America Awards 39 November 18, 2013. Outstanding Achievement in Casting, Animation Feature. Christian Kaplan nominated. Motion Picture Sound Editors 404142 February 16, 2014. Best Sound Editing in an Animated Feature Film. Randy Tom, Gwendolyn Yates Whittle won. Producers Guild of America Award 43 January 19, 2014. Outstanding Producer of Animated Theatrical Motion Picture. Jerry Davis, Lori Forte nominated. Satellite Awards 44 February 23, 2014. Best Motion Picture, Animated or Mixed Media nominated. Visual Effects Society Awards 45 February 12, 2014. Outstanding Animated Character in an Animated Feature Motion Picture. Bomba, Tom Roberts, Haven Gordon Cousins, Tim Bauer, Daniel Lima, nominated. Mary Catherine, Jeff Gabor, Dylan C. Maxwell, Sang-Joon Lee, Chris Bagoria, nominated. Outstanding Created Environment in an Animated Feature Motion Picture. Pod Patch, Aaron Ross, Travis Price, Jake Panian, Antelmo Villarreal, nominated. Outstanding FX and Simulation Animation in an Animated Feature Motion Picture. Bogan Crowds, Thierry Dervioz-Lecoq, David Gattenby, Mark Adams, Matthew D. Simmons, nominated. World Soundtrack Academy 46 October 25, 2013. Film Composer of the Year. Danny Elfman. Also for Frankenweenie, Hitchcock, Oz the Great and Powerful, Promised Land, and Silver Linings Playbook nominated. Soundtrack. Epic, Original Motion Picture Soundtrack. Film score by Danny Elfman. Released May 21, 2013. Recorded 2013. Genre score. Length 52:25. Label Sony Classics. Danny Elfman Film Scores Chronology. Oz the Great and Powerful. 2013, Epic, Original Motion Picture Soundtrack. 2013, American Hustle. 2013. Danny Elfman, who previously worked on the William Joyce adaptation Meet the Robinsons, composed the original music for the film, which was released on May 21, 2013 by Sony Classics. 4748 Beyoncé performed and co-wrote with SIA an original song, titled Rise Up. 49. The song was released as a digital single 50 and as part of the digital version of the soundtrack. 51-52 This was the first time that a film produced by Blue Sky Studios had not been scored by John Powell since the first Ice Age installment in 2002, which was composed by David Newman. Amanda Michelle Seyfried, Seyfried /Syfred1 born December 3, 1985, is an American actress and singer. Her accolades include a Primetime Emmy Award and a Golden Globe Award, as well as a nomination for an Academy Award. Named one of the 100 most influential people in the world by Time in 2022, her films as a leading actress have grossed over $2.4 billion worldwide. Seyfried began acting at age 15, with a recurring role as Lucy Montgomery in the CBS soap opera As the World Turns, 1999 to 2001. And on All My Children as Joni Stafford. She rose to prominence as Karen Smith in the teen comedy Mean Girls, 2004, later transitioning into dramatic television with her role as Sarah Henriksen in HBO's Big Love, 2006 to 2011. She expanded her career acting in the musical Mamma Mia! 2008, and its sequel, Mamma Mia. Here We Go Again, 2018, the horror comedy Jennifer's Body, 2009, the romance drama Dear John, 2010, and the romantic comedy Letters to Juliet, 2010. For her portrayal of Marion Davies in David Fincher's biopic drama Mank, 2020, she earned nominations for the Academy Award and Golden Globe Award for Best Supporting Actress. She played Elizabeth Holmes in the Hulu limited series The Dropout, 2022, earning a Golden Globe Award and Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actress. Her other dramatic film roles include Cassette in Les Miserables, 2012, Linda Lovelace in Lovelace, 2013, a pregnant parishioner in First Reformed, 2017, and Anne Lee in The Testament of Anne Lee, 2025. Early life. Amanda Michelle Seyfried was born in Allentown, Pennsylvania, on December 3, 1985. 2-3 Her mother, Anne Seyfried, née Sander, was an occupational therapist, and her father, Jack Seyfried, was a pharmacist. 4 Seyfried is of German ancestry. 5 and has an older sister, Jennifer, who was a musician and member of a rock band. 6-7 Seyfried started modeling at age 8, signing with Image International in Allentown and later with Pro Model in Bethlehem. 8. Seyfried attended William Allen High School, a large public school in Allentown. 9 There, she pursued art and piano lessons and was involved in high school theater productions. She also expressed an interest in singing. 10 She enrolled at Fordham University in New York City in 2003, but chose not to attend after being offered a leading role in the film Mean Girls, 2004. 11. Career. 1996 to 2005, Mean Girls and early roles. While attending William Allen High School in Allentown, Seyfried began modeling. She appeared in several print ads for clothing companies, including Limited 2 with Leighton Meester, and was featured on 3 covers of the Sweet Valley High novel series. 12-13 At age 17 she stopped modeling. 12 and started a job as a waitress in a retirement community. 14 While still a teen, she took vocal lessons, studied opera, trained with a Broadway coach, and began her acting career as an extra in Guiding Light, a daytime television drama. 15 From 2000 to 2001 she played the recurring character Lucy Montgomery on the CBS soap opera As the World Turns 15 and, from 2002 to 2003, Joni Stafford on the ABC soap All My Children. 16. In 2003, Seyfried auditioned to play Regina George in Mean Girls, but the role eventually went to Rachel McAdams. While she was initially considered for the lead role of Cady Heron, ultimately played by Lindsay Lohan, the film's producers decided that Seyfried should play Karen Smith, Regina's dim-wit plastic friend and sidekick. 15 The film was a box office success, grossing over $130 million in its theatrical run. 17 Seyfried's performance in the film earned her, along with Lohan, Lacey Chabert, and McAdams, an MTV Movie Award in the category of Best On-Screen Team. 18. Seyfried then auditioned to play the title character on UPN's television series Veronica Mars. 15 The role eventually went to Kristen Bell, and Seyfried portrayed Veronica's murdered best friend Lily Kane. 15 Her character was only shown in flashbacks. 15 In 2005, she played the lead character Samantha, a role written by director Rodrigo Garcia specifically for her, in one of the 9 parts of the film 9 Lives, composed of 9 short films with different themes and an ensemble cast. 19 For her performance, Seyfried, along with the film's other female leads, won the role Best Actress at the Locarno International Film Festival. That year, she played the supporting character Mouse in the independent film American Gun. In 2006, she appeared in 5 episodes of Wildfire as Rebecca and played the lead role Chrissy in the short film Gypsies, Tramps and Thieves, written and directed by Andrea Janicas. She also contributed in a minor role as Julie Beckley in Alpha Dog. From 2004 to 2006, she made multiple guest appearances on several television series, including House, Justice, Law and Order, Special Victims Unit, American Dad, and CSI, Crime Scene Investigation. 15. 2006 to 2010, career stardom. Seyfried at the premiere of Jennifer's Body in 2009. With her role in the HBO drama television series Big Love, Seyfried's profile as an actress grew substantially. The series centered on a fictional fundamentalist Mormon family in which Seyfried plays Sarah Henriksen, Bill and Barb's first daughter, who struggles with her family's polygamous faith. 20. Big Love premiered in the United States on March 12, 2006. In December 2009, HBO confirmed that Seyfried would return for the show's fourth season, but that it would be her last since she wished to begin concentrating on her film career and other upcoming projects. 21. Following Big Love, Seyfried played a supporting role, as Zoe, in the 2008 horror drama film Solstice and co-starred with Meryl Streep in Mamma Mia, a romantic comedy film adaptation of the 1999 musical of the same name. Mamma Mia, which was Seyfried's first leading role, was the fifth highest grossing film of 2008-22 and, as of February 2021, the 159th highest grossing film of all time. 23. 5 songs from her musical performance in Mamma Mia were released on the film's soundtrack. 24. In March 2008, Seyfried was cast in the comedy horror film Jennifer's Body as Anita Needy Lesnicki, the title character's best friend. 25. The film, which premiered at the 2009 Toronto International Film Festival and was released to theaters on September 18, 2009. 26. Received mixed reviews from critics. 27. The same year she was cast in the comedy drama independent film Boogie Woogie. She played Paige Oppenheimer, one of the lead roles in the ensemble movie. The movie was originally shown on June 26, 2009, at Edinburgh International Film Festival, and was shown in U.S. theaters April 25, 2010. On February 22, 2009, Seyfried presented an award and performed at the 81st Academy Awards ceremony. In early March 2009, director Zack Snyder had tapped Seyfried to portray the lead role, Baby Doll, in Sucker Punch 28, but Seyfried had to drop out of the film due to scheduling conflicts with Big Love. 12:29. Seyfried starred alongside Channing Tatum in Dear John, the film adaptation of the novel of the same name that was written by Nicholas Sparks. 30. The film, which was released February 5, 2010, received generally negative reviews. 30. Seyfried wrote and recorded Little House, a song on one of the soundtracks of Dear John. 31. Kirk Honeycutt of The Hollywood Reporter wrote, Seyfried gives the character and her relationship all she's got, but she can't do all the heavy lifting. The romance is too one-sided, and frankly, you can't blame her for steering her life into another channel. 32. Despite the negative reviews, Dear John became the first film to break up Avatar's box office reign at number 1 at the United States box office, grossing $80 million in the US theatrically and $115 million worldwide. 33-34. Seyfried next appeared as the title character in the erotic thriller Chloe, released by Sony Pictures Classics on March 26, 2010. 35. Chloe premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival in September 2009. 36. In the film, Seyfried's character is an escort who is hired to test a husband's faithfulness after his wife concludes that his fidelity could not be trusted. 36. Chloe enjoyed commercial success and became director Adam Egoyan's highest-grossing film. 37. Seyfried's performance in the film received favorable reviews from critics, helping her gain industry acclaim and additional opportunities to play varied roles. 38. Later in 2010, Seyfried starred in the romantic comedy film Letters to Juliet, based on the book by Lisa and Seal Friedman. Letters to Juliet was released to mixed reviews but was a box office success, grossing $80 million worldwide. For her performance, Seyfried was awarded Showist Breakthrough Female Star of the Year. 39 She also won the Scared as St award for her performance in Jennifer's Body and was nominated for Best Female Performance for her movie Dear John, at the 2010 MTV Movie Awards. 41 Also in 2010, Seyfried was named to Forbes 17 Stars to Watch list 42-43 and received 3 Teen Choice Award nominations, including for Choice Movie Actress Drama and Choice Movie Chemistry with her co-star Channing Tatum for roles in Dear John. Seyfried was also nominated for Choice Movie Actress Romantic Comedy for Letters to Juliet. 44. 2011 to 2019, continued success. Seyfried at the Toronto International Film Festival in September 2014. In late January 2009, Seyfried was to appear in Myriad Pictures' adaptation of Oscar Wilde's comedy A Woman of No Importance. 45 The film, which was scheduled for a 2011 release 46 encountered financing impediments. 47 In 2009, she was set to star in the film Albert Nobbs but withdrew from the film because of scheduling conflicts. Her role ended up being played by Mia Wasikowska. 48 Seyfried next starred in Catherine Hardwicke's Red Riding Hood, playing the lead role of Valerie. The film was released on March 11, 2011, to mostly negative reviews, but earned $90 million worldwide on a $42 million budget. She also played the lead role of Sylvia Weiss in Andrew Nichols in Time, which reunited her with Alpha Dog co-star Justin Timberlake. In Time was released in October 2011 to mixed reviews but grossed in excess of $172 million worldwide. Also in 2011, Seyfried became a spokesperson and model for Clé de Peau Beauté, a line of Japanese beauty products. 49. Seyfried starred in the thriller Gone, released in early 2012. Later that year, she played Cassette in the film adaptation of the musical Les Miserables. The film, and her performance, received acclaim from critics, and was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Picture and grossed a total of $440 million worldwide. 50 51 52. In 2013, Seyfried had roles in the comedy The Big Wedding and in the animated movie Epic. She played Linda Lovelace in the biopic Lovelace, earning critical acclaim from film critics for her role in it. 53 She appeared in the 2013 drama The End of Love. She was also signed to play the role of Anne Burton in the dramatization of the Robert O'Brien post-apocalyptic novel Z for Zachariah 54 but was replaced by Margot Robbie following a delay in the film's production. 55 In 2013, she became the face of Givenchy. 56. In 2015, she appeared in the comedy Ted 2, alongside Mark Wahlberg and Seth MacFarlane, and played Peter Pan's mother in the film Pan. 57 In 2018, she starred as Anon, a futuristic visual hacker, in the Netflix original film Anon, with Clive Owen. 58 and reprised her role as Sophie Sheridan in the Mamma Mia sequel, Mamma Mia! Here We Go Again, which was released in July. 59 In 2019, Seyfried starred as Eve in The Art of Racing in the Rain, a comedy drama based on best-selling book of the same name. 60. 2020, present, streaming projects. In 2020, Seyfried provided the voice of Daphne Blake in the film Scoob. 61 She also starred in the psychological horror You Should Have Left, opposite Kevin Bacon and directed by David Kerr. 62 She received critical acclaim for her third film of the year, playing actress Marion Davies in David Fincher's Mank, 2020, which earned her Golden Globe 63 and Oscar nominations. 64 She earned further critical acclaim in her performance as the Anos founder Elizabeth Holmes in the 2022 limited series The Dropout, for which she won an Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actress and a nomination for a second Emmy for Outstanding Limited or Anthology Series as a producer of the show. 65 In 2022 and 2024, She starred in the drama film Seven Veils and comedy horror film I Don't Understand You, respectively. 66-67. Public image. Seyfried photographed by Vogue in November 2016. Seyfried has received numerous accolades from People magazine, which ranked her number 1 in a 2011 article featuring 25 beauties and hotties. At 25, she was also included in the magazine's annual beauty list in 2009 and 2010. 68, 69, 70. She also appeared in the magazine's Beautiful at Every Age article in 2012. 71. She was featured in Vanity Fair's Bright Young Hollywood article in 2008, and in 2010 appeared on the magazine's cover along with several other actresses. 72, 73. In 2010, Seyfried was selected as brand's muse, ambassador, and official spokesperson for French-Japanese luxury skincare house Clé de Peau Beauté. 74, 75, 76. In May 2013, she was selected as the global face of Givenchy's very irresistible fragrance. 77, 78. In June 2016, Seyfried became the global face of the Miu Miu's Fall-Winter 2016 collection campaign, alongside Taylor Hill, Anna Ewers, Mayoa Nicholas, Rose Hanbury, and more. 79-80. Seyfried has been brand ambassador for Swiss luxury watch brand Jaeger-LeCoultre since 2019, 81-82, and was named as the global ambassador for Lancôme in October 2019. 83. Personal life. Seyfried has acknowledged having anxiety, obsessive compulsive disorder 84 and panic attacks. She also had stage fright and, largely for that reason, avoided performing in theater productions until 2015. 85. Seyfried is a board member of the International Network for Aid, Relief, and Assistance, INARA, which provides medical services for children wounded in war zones, with a special focus on refugee children from Syria impacted by the Syrian civil war. 86. Seyfried was in a relationship with actor Dominic Cooper on and off from 2008 to 2009, and actor Justin Long from 2013 to 2015. 87. She also dated Dexter star Desmond Harrington from July 2012 to April 2013. 88. In early 2016, she began a relationship with her co-star in The Last Word, Thomas Sadoski. 89. They confirmed their engagement on September 12, 2016. 90. And married in March 2017. 91. They have 2 children, a daughter born in 2017, 92-93, and a son born in 2020. Joshua Ryan Hutcherson, born October 12, 1992, is an American actor. His accolades include 14 Choice Awards, 4 Young Artist Awards, and 3 MTV Movie Awards, in addition to a nomination for a Screen Actors Guild Award. He began acting in the early 2000s and appeared in several commercials and minor film and television roles before gaining prominence in his teenage years with main roles in Little Manhattan and Zathura, A Space Adventure, both 2005, RV, 2006, Bridge to Terabithia, 2007, Journey to the Center of the Earth, 2008, and The Kids Are All Right, 2010. In 2011, 18-year-old Hutcherson landed the leading role of Peeta Mellark in the top-grossing film series The Hunger Games, released yearly between 2012 and 2015, for which he won 3 MTV Movie Awards and a People's Choice Award. In the same period, he also played a lead role in Journey to The Mysterious Island, 2012, and voice role in the animated film Epic, 2013. Since this period, Hutcherson decreased his workload for a few years and appeared in several independent films, as well as in the television series Future Man, 2017 to 2020, and Ultraman, 2019 to 2023. He has since starred in the commercially successful horror film Five Nights at Freddy's, 2023, and action film The Beekeeper, 2024. Throughout his career, Hutcherson has expressed an interest in filmmaking. He has served as an executive producer for Detention, 2011, The Forger, 2012, and Escobar, Paradise Lost, 2015, while also playing a lead role in each film. Early life. Joshua Ryan Hutcherson was born on October 12, 1992, in Union, Kentucky. He is the elder son of Michelle, née Fight Master, a former Delta Airlines employee who now assists with Josh's career, and Chris Hutcherson I, an analyst for the United States Environmental Protection Agency, EPA. 2-3 His parents, who were also born and raised in Kentucky, met in high school in Dry Ridge. 2-4 He has one younger brother, Connor, b. 1996. 5-6-7 Hutcherson's interest in acting developed as a child despite his parents' concerns about the profession. 8-9 According to the actor himself, he had loved the entertainment industry from the age of 4. 10 His father said that his son was compelled to perform for people from a very young age, possessing a personality that attracted people's attention. His mother said that he bugged us so much into becoming an actor 11 but believed it was a phase he was going through and would grow out of. 12 At age 8, Hutcherson went through the yellow pages and contacted an acting agency. 13 In January 2002, he and his mother met acting coach Bob Luke, who traveled from New York City to Kentucky to meet them. 13 Luke advised them to go to Los Angeles and begin auditioning Hutcherson for TV pilots. At the time, his only acting experience had been in a Kroger television commercial and a Vacation Bible School training film. 3 For 3 years, Hutcherson and his mother lived in Los Angeles' Oakwood Apartments, a housing community that accommodates young child actors and their families. 13-14 Most of Hutcherson's childhood was spent on film sets rather than in a classroom. He attended New Haven Elementary School in Union until he began his career at the age of 9, after which he began homeschooling, with his mother as his teacher. 11-15 He later returned to Kentucky to attend Ryle High School for one semester. 15-16 Hutcherson played on the high school's soccer team and has been a keen sports enthusiast since 8-16, also displaying a passion for football and tennis. 17 At the age of 13, he participated in a triathlon. 17 He later said of his schooling experiences, "I know it's something kids have to deal with every single day, but getting up at the same time every day and having to listen to teachers talk about things I could learn so much more easily on my own, I hated it." 15. Career. 2002 to 2010, early roles. After moving to Hollywood in 2002, Hutcherson appeared in various television commercials. 2. He landed his first major acting role as Nicky Harper in the 2002 pilot episode of Houseblend, followed by minor roles in an episode of ER and the pilot episode of Becoming Glenn. 18. The following year, he played the leading role of Charlie Logan in the television film Miracle Dogs, which aired on Animal Planet. 19. Later that year, he starred opposite Peter Falk and Tim Daly in the television film Wilder Days 20, playing Falk's grandson who accompanies him on a turbulent road trip. Daly was impressed with the young Hutcherson, remarking, "He's an exceptional kid. He's a really good actor, and he's very smart and confident in himself." 3. Hutcherson's next role was as a boy dressed as Robin in his first feature film appearance, the well-reviewed independent film American Splendor 21, which won the Grand Jury Prize at the Sundance Film Festival. 22. His character in 2004's fantasy film The Polar Express, Young Hero Boy, was created by motion capture of his facial expressions and body movements. 23. The film starred Tom Hanks in the lead role and received mixed reviews from critics. 24. In the animated fantasy film Howl's Moving Castle, he voiced the character of Markle, working alongside two other lead characters, Christian Bale and Billy Crystal. 25. All of his dialogue for the film was recorded in about 8 consecutive hours. 17. Josh Hutcherson smiling for a picture wearing casual clothing. Hutcherson at the premiere of Cirque du Freak in 2009. In 2005, Hutcherson appeared in several Hollywood films while trying to establish himself in the industry. He portrayed the minor role of Bucky Weston in the comedy Kicking and Screaming. 26 In 2005's Little Manhattan, he had a lead role alongside his younger brother, Connor. 727 Stella Papa-Michael of the BBC approved of his performance, saying that Hutcherson's delivery is spot on, showing a keen instinct for self-effacing humor that would make even Woody Allen feel that bit more inadequate. 28 But Variety columnist Brian Lowry felt that Hutcherson might have looked cute on the page, but even with his Linus voice the language and tone didn't feel natural. 29. He next appeared in a lead role in Jon Favreau's Zathura, a space adventure, which he enjoyed filming owing to the number of special effects and stunts he was involved with. 31 Hutcherson received the Young Artist Award for Best Performance in a Feature Film by a Leading Young Actor for the film. 32. Hutcherson's next appearance was in the comedy RV in early 2006, playing the son of Robin Williams' character, Bob Monroe. 34 He professed finding it difficult to concentrate during the production because he was constantly laughing at Williams' jokes and antics between takes. 11 The film was not received favorably by critics. Variety said the film suffered from blunt predictability and meager laughs. 35 He received his second Young Artist Award nomination for his role, but lost to Logan Lerman in Hood. 36. Hutcherson's breakthrough role in his career as a child actor came in 2007, when he portrayed Jesse Aarons in the fantasy drama Bridge to Terabithia. 18 The film was shot on location in New Zealand for 3.5 months. Hutcherson said of the filming, "That was an amazing experience. It doesn't get any prettier than that. There were beaches everywhere and all sorts of forests. We took little road trips everywhere and just had a lot of fun." 37. He admitted to not having read the novel that the film is based upon before being cast. 38 Author Ansi Peaita describes his character of Jesse Aarons as an introverted boy with 4 sisters, a financially strapped family, and a real talent for drawing whose life is turned around when Leslie Burke, Anna Sophia Robb, arrives, with whom he creates an imaginary utopian world. 39 Ann Hornaday of the Washington Post found his casting to be a perfect fit and commended how he portrayed the sensitive, artistic, temperament of his character. 40 While Miriam D'Annunzio of the Chicago Sun-Times noted the chemistry between Hutcherson and Robb, referring to them as a dynamic duo. 41 He won his second Young Artist Award for Best Performance in a Feature Film by a Leading Young Actor for the film. 42 Hutcherson's next role was in Firehouse Dog, 2007, in which he played Shane Fahey, a firefighter's son who befriends a dog. He has expressed his pleasure in working and bonding with the 4 different dogs who played his canine co-star. 43 The film received mixed reviews, although critics were favorable to Hutcherson. 44 Following the film, Carrie Rickey of the Philadelphia Inquirer referred to him as the Jodie Foster of Generation Y, remarking that with each successive film Hutcherson dives deeper into his reservoir of shame and hurt and hope, unnerving for one so young, but also unusually urgent for an actor of any age. 45. Hutcherson with slicked back hair, wearing a black button-up dress shirt. Hutcherson at the 2010 New York Film Festival. In 2008, he appeared in the independent crime drama Winged Creatures, released as fragments on DVD, alongside Dakota Fanning as they portrayed 2 teenage friends who survive a massacre. 46 And in Journey to the Center of the Earth, a 3D film adaptation of the novel of the same name where he portrayed a teen who travels to Iceland with an uncle he hardly knows, played by Brendan Fraser. 43-47 Over the next 2 years, he appeared as a boy named Steve Leopard Leonard who visits a freak show with his friends in the vampire fiction film adaptation of the book Cirque du Freak. 48 And had a supporting role in the critically acclaimed The Kids Are All Right, portraying the son of a lesbian couple, played by Annette Bening and Julianne Moore. 49-50 According to Kaleem Aftab of The Independent, his role in the film was a pivotal point in his career and one of vital importance to continuing his career into adulthood. 9 Hutcherson expressed gratitude at being cast in the film, displaying satisfaction with the intimacy and creative freedom that independent films provide over studio films. 51. The film won the Golden Globe Award for Best Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy in 2010, and was a nominee for Best Picture at the 83rd Academy Awards. 52-53. Gregory Elwood of entertainment site HitFix stated, Hutcherson's charismatic wit and natural instincts shine, and it's arguably the first film where he proves he's more than just another sharp-looking teen actor. 50. 2011 to 2015, The Hunger Games and Breakthrough. That role is so key to have a boy that can use language. That's how Peyton navigates the world, that's his gift, and Josh was the only one who could bring that to life in such a real and natural way. Suzanne Collins, The Hunger Games series author. 54. On April 4, 2011, Lionsgate announced that 18-year-old Hutcherson had been cast as Peeta Mellark in the Hunger Games series, opposite Jennifer Lawrence as Katniss Everdeen. 55-56. He was eager to land the role, feeling that he related to the character extremely well. 2. In preparation for filming, he had to bleach his hair and gain 15 pounds. 57. Lawrence, a very close friend, has always spoken highly of him as an actor. In regards to his portrayal of Peeta Mellark, she stated, he's charming, he's sweet, he's down to earth, he's normal. He embodies all of it and brings it all to Peeta. He's got all those great qualities, and every single one of them comes across in every line he says out loud as Peeta. 58. He became known for his pranks on set. 59. Leading to an accident as he was play fighting with Lawrence, who kicked him in the head, unintentionally knocking him unconscious and giving him a concussion. 60. The initial film, The Hunger Games, was released on March 23, 2012, and went on to become one of the highest-grossing films of the year. Hutcherson received the MTV Movie Award for Best Male Performance. 61. He was also awarded the 2012 New Now Next Award for Next Megastar and the National Association of Theatre Owners' 2012 Cinemacon Award for Breakthrough Performer of the Year. 62-63. Peter Travers of Rolling Stone described the actor's portrayal, saying, Hutcherson brings humor and a bruised heart to a boy who needs to mature fast. 64. Josh Hutcherson in a striped blue tank top and Vanessa Hudgens in a blue dress. Hutcherson and Journey to The Mysterious Island co-star Vanessa Hudgens in Sydney in January 2012. Between landing the role in The Hunger Games and the film's release, he played a lead role and served as an executive producer for 2 films, Detention, 2011, and The Forger, 2012. 65-66. In Detention, he played the role of popular teenager Clapton Davis in a film the plot of which has been compared to 1985's The Breakfast Club. 67. His role in The Forger was as a 15-year-old orphan who finds himself in trouble until Alfred Molina's character comes to his aid. The film was not well received, but the actors' chemistry together and their performance was. 68. He next reprised his role as Sean Anderson in the 2012 Journey to the Center of the Earth sequel, Journey to The Mysterious Island. 69-70. Hutcherson has always been vocal about his desire to work on films of all sorts of genres. 43. Regarding the switch from comedy drama The Kids Are Alright to the Journey sequel, he stated, For me, I like to do all different types of films, and to go from having that awesome indie kind of thing that I love doing so much with great characters and a really great script to a bigger kind of studio film, to just cover the whole kind of spectrum of movies is really, really cool. 71. Although the film was largely panned, 72, it fared well commercially and his performance was well received, with Kofi Outlaw of ScreenRant.com appreciating how he does a good job holding the screen and portraying a somewhat layered protagonist. 73. Later in 2012, he appeared in Red Dawn, a remake of the 1984 film of the same name. The film was panned by critics, achieving only a 12% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes, the lowest score of any film Hutcherson has acted in. 74-75. In 2013, Hutcherson voiced the character Nod in the animated action-adventure 3D film Epic, loosely based on William Joyce's book, The Leaf Men and the Brave Good Bugs 76-77. The film is his most commercially successful except for the Hunger Games series. 75. As filming approached for the Hunger Games sequel, The Hunger Games: Catching Fire, he enlisted celebrity trainer Bobby Strom to assist him in 5-hour-long workouts per week. 78. The film brought in $420 million at the North American box office, making it his most commercially successful film. 75. Todd Gilchrist of IndieWire proclaimed of the actor's performance that Hutcherson's maturing talents achieve a parallelism with the character's self-actualization, proving subtler and more self-aware with every resigned decision he makes on behalf of the people around him that he loves. 79. Hutcherson received his second MTV Movie Award for Best Male Performance for his role in the sequel. 80. Josh Hutcherson and Jennifer Lawrence speaking at the 2013 San Diego Comic-Con International, for The Hunger Games: Catching Fire, at the San Diego Convention Center in San Diego, California. Hutcherson with co-star Jennifer Lawrence at the 2013 San Diego Comic-Con promoting The Hunger Games: Catching Fire. On November 23, 2013, the day following The Hunger Games: Catching Fire's United States release, Hutcherson hosted an episode of Saturday Night Live. 81-82. His performance received mediocre reviews, with Mike Ryan of the Huffington Post stating that he did not really bring anything special to the table except having a nice attitude, and John Sirico of GQ remarking that while the night didn't necessarily disappoint, it also didn't dazzle. 83-84. Hutcherson again reprised his role in the two feature-length parts of the Mockingjay film adaptation. The Hunger Games: Mockingjay, Part 1 was released on November 21, 2014, and Part 2 followed on November 20, 2015. 85. His character goes through a significant personality change in the films, which provided him with an acting challenge. He said, "I'm nervous about portraying it because I've never gone crazy before in a movie." 86. Emily Yar of the Washington Post spoke positively of his acting, by saying Peeta's crazed expression is sure to haunt our nightmares for a long time. 87. While David Adelstein of New York criticized his portrayal in relation to scenes with the other characters, saying at least Josh Hutcherson's captured Peeta is mostly seen in interviews with Stanley Tucci's camp talk show host on TV screens, so the actor can't bring his lack of urgency to scenes with Jennifer Lawrence. 88. Before filming the Mockingjay movies, Hutcherson filmed Escobar: Paradise Lost, a French-Spanish thriller, which was released on January 16, 2015, in the US. 89. He also served as an executive producer for the film, alongside first-time director Andrea DiStefano, assisting with casting and blocking shots. Hutcherson said the opportunity made him so hungry to do more like that. 90. 2016, present, post The Hunger Games. In the 2 years following the conclusion The Hunger Games, Hutcherson acted in independent films and produced a handful of short films including his 2017 directorial debut. He also directed music videos for West Coast Massive and Foster the People. In a short period, he had supporting roles in 3 films directed by James Franco: The Long Home, unreleased, In Dubious Battle, 2016, and The Disaster Artist, 2017. Beginning in November 2017, Hutcherson starred in the science fiction comedy series Future Man on the video-on-demand service Hulu. 91. Produced by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, the show continued for 3 seasons, concluding in 2020. In 2019, he starred in the thriller film Burn and began voicing the lead character of Shinjiro Hayata in the Netflix anime Ultraman, 2019 to 2023. He appeared in the 2022 Ernest Hemingway adaptation Across the River and Into the Trees and starred opposite Morgan Freeman in the 2023 science fiction thriller 57 Seconds. Released in October 2023, Hutcherson stars as Mike Schmidt in the Blumhouse Productions film Five Nights at Freddy's, based on the video game series of the same name. 92. The film was a box office success and one of the year's best performing horror films. 93. He later revealed that a sequel film was in development. Hutcherson appeared as the main antagonist Derek Danforth in the Jason Statham action film The Beekeeper, which was released on January 19, 2024. 94. In December 2023, a fan edit of Hutcherson from 2014, consisting of oversaturated images of the actor, with the song Whistle by Flo Rida playing in the background, went viral, with Hutcherson himself acknowledging the trend. 95-96. In early 2025, Josh joined the cast of the HBO comedy series I Love LA, set to premiere in November of that year. In July, during a panel at San Diego Comic-Con, Hutcherson revealed details about the film Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Blumhouse sequel to the hit horror film about haunted animatronics hits theaters on December 5, 2025. 97. Personal life. Hutcherson has cited actor Jake Gyllenhaal as an inspiration. 38. Admiring the way Gyllenhaal has taken his career and the kind of jobs that he's taken. 8. He has named actor, director, and producer Philip Seymour Hoffman as another of his inspirations. 98. Hutcherson has been in a relationship with actress Claudia Trezake since 2013. 99. As of 2024, Hutcherson splits his time between Los Angeles, California and Madrid, Spain. 100. In May 2012, he purchased the 1,861 square foot, 172.9 square meters, $2.5 million former house of Heath Ledger in Laurel Canyon, Hollywood Hills, a small ranch built in 1951. 101. He professes that fame has not changed him as a person, stating, "I love my job more than anything in the world and I could never imagine doing anything else. So this whole thing is a very small price to pay compared to someone who has to go to an office to work." 915. A known ally to the LGBT community, Hutcherson advocates the Gay, Straight Alliance campaign, straight but not narrow. 102. 103. Since its formation, he has been its most active supporter. 104. His involvement with the LGBT community stems from his family ties. 2 of his uncles who were gay died of AIDS-related illnesses. 105. In April 2012, he became the youngest recipient of the Vanguard Award from GLAAD, given for promoting equal rights for LGBT people. 106. He was also awarded with Young Humanitarian Award at the 2015 Unite for Humanity Award ceremony. 107. Regarding his own sexuality, he considers himself to be mostly straight and does not believe in being limited by labels. 90. Hutcherson also worked alongside the Trevor Project and Human IT in 2014 when he began his campaign Power On, which serves to help young LGBT people from rural areas to form communities by donating old computers and cell phones to LGBT resource centers. He began the campaign by donating an old computer of his own. 108. Yearly in 2012 to 2014, he has hosted the Josh Hutcherson Celebrity Basketball Game in Los Angeles, which raises funds and awareness for the Straight But Not Narrow campaign. 109. In November 2013, Hutcherson and Queen Latifah presented trophies together to 4 young community volunteers in a live ceremony at the 5th Annual Teen Nick Halo Awards at the Hollywood Palladium. 110. Hutcherson endorsed and actively campaigned for Senator Bernie Sanders for president in the 2016 and 2020 U.S. presidential elections. Beyoncé Giselle Knowles Carter, /by/Beyoncé 3, born September 4, 1981, is an American singer, songwriter, actress, and businesswoman. Known for her vocal ability, artistic reinventions, and live performances, she is widely regarded as one of the most culturally significant figures of the 21st century. Credited with revolutionizing the music industry, Beyoncé is often deemed one of the greatest entertainers and most influential artists in history. 4. Beyoncé rose to fame in 1997 as the lead singer of Destiny's Child, one of the best-selling girl groups of all time. Her debut solo album, Dangerously in Love, 2003, became one of the best-selling albums of the 21st century. After Destiny's Child disbanded in 2005, Beyoncé released the funk-imbued Birthday, 2006, and starred in the drama film Dreamgirls, 2006. Her marriage to rapper Jay-Z and portrayal of Etta James in the biopic Cadillac Records, 2008, influenced her pop-oriented double album I Am. Sasha Fierce, 2008. Through the 2000s, Beyoncé garnered the US Billboard Hot 100 #1 singles Crazy in Love, Baby Boy, Irreplaceable, Check on It, and Single Ladies, Put a Ring on It. After forming the management company Parkwood Entertainment, Beyoncé embraced traditional R&B and soul on 2011. The electronic-influenced Beyoncé, 2013, popularized surprise and visual albums, inspiring the setting of Friday as global release day, while the eclectic Lemonade, 2016, sparked socio-political discourse and became the best-selling album worldwide in 2016. Her ongoing trilogy project consisting of the queer-inspired dance album Renaissance, 2022, and Americana epic Cowboy Carter, 2024, has highlighted the contributions of Black pioneers to American musical and cultural history, spawning the US #1 singles Break My Soul and Texas Hold 'Em. Beyoncé is one of the best-selling music artists of all time, with estimated sales of over 200 million records. She is the most RIA-certified female artist and the only woman whose first 8 studio albums each debuted at #1 on the US Billboard 200. One of the most awarded artists in popular music, her accolades include 35 Grammy Awards, the most of any individual, a Primetime Emmy Award, and a Peabody Award. Beyoncé is also the most awarded artist at the BET Awards, 36, MTV Video Music Awards, 30, NAACP Image Awards, 32, and Soul Train Music Awards, 25. The first woman to headline an all-stadium tour, she is amongst the highest-grossing live acts of all time. Life and career. Early life. Beyoncé J.Astle Knowles was born in Houston, Texas, on September 4, 1981. 5'6". Her mother, Tina Knowles, née Beyoncé, was a hairdresser and salon owner. 7'8", while her father, Matthew Knowles, was a sales manager at Xerox. 9. Matthew is African American. 10. While Tina is Louisiana Creole with African, French, Irish, Breton, Norman and Native American ancestry. 11. 12. 13. Beyoncé's younger sister, Solange, is also a singer and actress. 14. 15. They are descendants of Acadian militia officer Joseph Broussard, who was exiled to French Louisiana after the expulsion of the Acadians. 16. Both sisters also have Belgian ancestry from Hainaut Province, Wallonia. 17. 18. Beyoncé was raised within multiple religious traditions, attending both St. John's United Methodist Church and St. Mary of the Purification Catholic Church in Houston. 1920. Her first job as a child was sweeping hair and occasionally performing for customers at her mother's hair salon. 21. Beyoncé began her education at St. Mary's Catholic Montessori School, where she also took dance classes. 22. Her vocals were discovered by her dance instructor, who began humming a song that Beyoncé completed. 23. Beyoncé's interest in music and performing grew after she won a school talent show at the age of 7 by singing John Lennon's Imagine, winning against older competitors aged 15 and 16. 24. 25. In 1990, 9-year-old Beyoncé enrolled in Parker Elementary School, a music magnet school in Houston, where she performed with the school's choir. 26. 27. She later attended the Kinder High School for the Performing and Visual Arts and subsequently Alif Elsik High School. 28. Beyoncé was also a member of the choir at St. John's United Methodist Church, where she sang her first solo and was a soloist for 2 years. 1929. 1990 to 2001, early career and Destiny's Child. In 1990, Beyoncé met singer Latavia Roberson while in an audition for an all-girl entertainment group. 30. Joined by Kelly Rowland 2 years later. 30. The trio was placed in Girls' Time, a group that performed rap and dance routines on Houston's talent show circuit. 31-32 in 1993, the group was entered in Star Search, the largest national talent show on television at the time. Competing in the show's singing category, the group lost the competition, which Beyoncé attributed to a poor song choice. 33-34 after LaToya Luckett joined in 1993, Girls' Tyme continued performing as an opening act for established R&B girl groups. 30 in 1995, Matthew left his job to manage the group, which have the Knowles family's income, leading to them moving into separate apartments. 30-35-36 the group was briefly signed by Elektra Records and later dropped. Ensuing tensions led to a 6-month separation of Beyoncé's parents. 37-38 the Knowles family later reunited and the group secured a contract with Columbia Records, aided by talent scout Teresa LaBarbera Whites. 24-39. 20-year-old Beyoncé in a black top, photographed looking directly at the camera. Beyoncé in 2001. The group adopted the name Destiny's Child in 1997, based upon a passage in the book of Isaiah. 40-41 that year, they released their major label debut song, Killing Time, which appeared on the soundtrack for the film Men in Black. 42-43 their debut single and first major hit, No, 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 preceded their debut album, Destiny's Child, 1998, a moderate success. 42-44 released in July 1999, the group's second album, The Writings on the Wall, peaked at number 5 on the US Billboard 200 and later achieved multi-platinum status in the country. 45-46 the record spawned the singles Bills, 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 Say My Name, and Jumpin', Jumpin', the former two both peaked atop the US Billboard Hot 100. 47-45-48 Say My Name won Best R&B Performance by a Duo or Group with Vocals and Best R&B Song at the 2001 Grammy Awards. 49 The Writings on the Wall became one of the best-selling R&B albums of all time, having sold 13 million copies worldwide. 50-51. Following several lineup changes, Destiny's Child ultimately comprised Beyoncé, Roland, and Michelle Williams. 52 In early 2001, while the group were completing work on their third album, Beyoncé secured a leading role in the MTV made-for-television film Carmen, a hip opera, an interpretation of the 19th century opera Carmen. 53 Destiny's Child's third studio album, Survivor, was released in May 2001. It debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200, selling 663,000 copies in its first week. 54 The album produced the Billboard Hot 100 number ones Independent Woman Part I and Bootylicious, as well as the title track, which peaked at number 2. 55-56-57 Survivor earned the group a Grammy Award for Best R&B Performance by a Duo or Group with Vocals. 57 Following the release of their holiday album, 8 Days of Christmas, 2001, Destiny's Child announced a hiatus to allow each member to pursue solo careers. 30. 2002 to 2007, Dangerously in Love, Birthday, and Dreamgirls. Beyoncé smiling at the camera. Beyoncé in 2004. In July 2002, Beyoncé made her theatrical film debut, portraying Foxy Cleopatra in Austin Powers in Goldmember. 58 She released Work It Out as the lead single from the film's soundtrack. 59 Her breakthrough as a solo artist came when she featured on Jay-Z's track 03 Bonnie and Clyde from his album The Blueprint 2, The Gift and the Curse, 2002. 60 The single peaked at number 4 on the Hot 100 chart. 61 Beyoncé appeared as Jay-Z's girlfriend in the music video for the song, fueling speculation about a relationship. 62 She later shared that they began dating when she was 19, after a year and a half of friendship. 63. On June 14, 2003, Beyoncé premiered songs from her debut solo album, Dangerously in Love, during her first solo concert, which was broadcast as a pay-per-view television special. 64 released 10 days later. 30 The album debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 chart, selling 317,000 copies in its first week. 65 The album's lead single, Crazy in Love, featuring Jay-Z, became Beyoncé's first number 1 single as a solo artist in the US. 66 The single Baby Boy also reached number 1. 67 While Me, Myself, and I and Naughty Girl both reached the top 5. 68 The album earned Beyoncé 5 awards at the 46th Annual Grammy Awards, including Best Contemporary R&B Album and Best R&B Song for Crazy in Love. 69 Having sold 11 million copies since its release, it is one of the best-selling albums of the 21st century. 70 She starred alongside Cuba Gooding Jr. in the musical comedy The Fighting Temptations, 2003, portraying a single mother and the love interest of Gooding's character. 71-72 In November 2003, Beyoncé embarked on the European Dangerously in Love Tour and North American Verizon Ladies First Tour alongside Missy Elliott and Alicia Keys. 73-74 On February 1, 2004, she performed the Star-Spangled Banner, the national anthem of the U.S., at the Super Bowl 38. 75-76 Destiny Fulfilled, Destiny's Child's final album, was released on November 15, 2004. 77 The record peaked at number 2 on the Billboard 278, spawning the US top 5 singles Lose My Breath and Soldier. 79 In 2005, Destiny's Child embarked on a global concert tour titled Destiny Fulfilled, and Love in It. 80-81 The group announced that they would disband at the end of the tour. 81-82 Destiny's Child released their first compilation album, #Ones, in October 2005 and were honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in March 2006. 83-84 Beyoncé performing during the Beyoncé Experience Tour in 2007. Beyoncé's second solo album, Birthday, was released internationally on September 4, 2006, to coincide with her 25th birthday. 85-86 The album debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 chart with 541,000 copies sold in its first week. 87-88 The album's lead single, Deja Vu, featuring Jay-Z, reached number 4 on the Billboard Hot 189 while the second worldwide single, Irreplaceable, topped the chart for 10 weeks. 90 B-Day's other singles Ring the Alarm, Get Me Bodied, and Green Light each saw moderate chart success. 91-92 At the 2007 Grammy Awards, Birthday and some of its songs received 5 nominations, winning Best Contemporary R&B Album. 93 At the 2008 show, the album garnered more nominations, including Record of the Year for Irreplaceable. 94 Beyoncé's first acting role in 2006 was in the comedy film The Pink Panther. 73 She performed the US #1 single Check on It as its theme song, which was included on #Ones and on the European deluxe version of Birthday. 95-96 Later that year, she starred in Dreamgirls, a cinematic adaptation of the 1981 Broadway musical. Beyoncé portrayed a pop singer modeled after Diana Ross. 97 In support of Birthday, Beyoncé embarked on the Beyoncé Experience in 2007, her first worldwide concert tour, which visited 97 venues. 98 Simultaneously, Birthday was re-released with additional tracks 99 including her duet with Shakira, Beautiful Liar, which peaked at number 3 in the US. 100 In December 2007, Beyoncé and Jay-Z became engaged. 101 2008 to 2009, I Am Sasha Fierce and Marriage. Beyoncé stands looking out to a crowd while holding a microphone. Beyoncé performing during the I Am tour in 2009. On April 4, 2008, Beyoncé and Jay-Z married in a small, private ceremony. 102 The latter confirmed their marriage in an interview later that year. 103 Their marriage influenced Beyoncé's third studio album, I Am Sasha Fierce, which was released on November 12, 2008, and formally introduced her alter ego Sasha Fierce. 104-105, a double album. It comprises 2 discs, I Am and Sasha Fierce. The former contains slow and mid-tempo pop and R&B ballads, while the latter focuses on up-tempo beats that blend electropop and Europop elements. 106-107, debuting at number 1 on the Billboard 200, it sold 482,000 copies in its first week, marking Beyoncé's 3rd consecutive US number 1 album. 108. I Am. Sasha Fierce included Beyoncé's 5th number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, single Ladies, Put a Ring on It, as well as the UK chart-topping single, If I Were a Boy. 109-110, the success of Halo, which peaked at number 5 in the US, helped Beyoncé attain more top 10 singles on the list than any other woman during the 2000s. 111-112, parodied and imitated around the world, the single Ladies music video was described by the Toronto Star as the first major dance craze of the internet age. 113, at the 2009 MTV Video Music Awards, the video won 3 categories, including Video of the Year. 114, in March 2009, Beyoncé embarked on the I Am Tour, her second headlining worldwide concert tour, which grossed $119.5 million. 115-116. I Am. Sasha Fierce went on to become one of the best-selling albums of the 21st century, with over 10 million copies sold worldwide. 117, soon after its release, Beyoncé portrayed blues singer Etta James in the musical biopic Cadillac Records, 2008, 115-118, garnering several nominations including an NAACP Image Award nomination for Outstanding Supporting Actress. 119, in the psychological thriller Obsessed, 2009, Beyoncé played Sharon Charles, a woman protecting her family from her husband's stalker, which co-starred Ali Larter and Idris Elba. 120-121, the film was critically panned, but Beyoncé's acting saw favorable reception. 122, Obsessed performed strongly at the US box office, earning $68 million on a $20 million budget, surpassing Cadillac Records by $60 million. 123-124, Beyoncé performed America the Beautiful at President Barack Obama's 2009 presidential inauguration and at last during the first inaugural dance. 125. At the 52nd Annual Grammy Awards in 2010, Beyoncé received 10 nominations, both for I Am Sasha Fierce and for her work in film soundtracks, tying with Lauryn Hill for most Grammy nominations in a single year by a female artist. 126, Beyoncé won 6 of those nominations, including Best Contemporary R&B Album for I Am Sasha Fierce and Song of the Year for Single Ladies, breaking a record she previously tied in 2004 for the most Grammy Awards won in a single night by a female artist. 127, Beyoncé provided vocals on Lady Gaga's single Telephone, from the latter's extended play The Fame Monster, 2009. 128, it peaked at number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100. 61. 2010 to 2012, For and First Child. In January 2010, Beyoncé announced a hiatus from her music career. 129, over the 9-month break, she traveled to several European cities, the Great Wall of China, the Egyptian pyramids, Australia, English music festivals, and attended museum exhibitions and ballet performances. 130-131, Eat, Play, Love, a cover story written by Beyoncé for Essence that detailed her career break, won her a writing award from the New York Association of Black Journalists. 132, around this time, she miscarried, retrospectively describing it as the saddest thing she had endured. 133, Beyoncé returned to the studio and wrote music to cope with the loss. 134. 135 In September 2010, Beyoncé made her runway modeling debut at Tom Ford's Spring/Summer 2011 fashion show. 136 In March 2011, her father Matthew stopped managing her career. 137. The upper body of Beyoncé is shown as she sings into a microphone. Beyoncé performing during her 4 Intimate Nights with Beyoncé concert residency in August 2011. In April 2011, during a photo shoot in Paris for her upcoming album cover, Beyoncé unexpectedly discovered she was pregnant. 138. 139 Her 4th studio album, 4, was released on June 24, 2011, in the US and debuted atop the Billboard 200, selling 310,000 copies in its first week. 140. 141 It was her 4th consecutive #1 album in the US. 142 4 marked Beyoncé's first project of creative control since she split from her father, and was conceived as a traditional R&B and soul record that stood apart from contemporary popular music. 143. 144. 145 It contained 5 Billboard Hot 100 songs: Run the World, Girls, Party, Countdown, Best Thing I Never Had, and Love on Top. 146. 147 The latter two peaked at numbers 16 and 20. 148. 149 On June 26, 2011, Beyoncé became the first solo female artist in over 2 decades to headline the main Pyramid stage at the Glastonbury Festival. 150 The performance received praise from critics, with some outlets praising her growth as a live performer. 151. 152. 153 In August 2011, Beyoncé and Jay-Z attended the MTV Video Music Awards, in which the former performed Love on Top and revealed her pregnancy. 154 Her announcement contributed to the ceremony becoming the most watched broadcast in MTV history at the time, drawing 12.4 million viewers. 155. 156 The moment also set a Guinness World Record for the most tweets per second for a single event, with 8,868 tweets per second, and Beyoncé pregnant became the most Googled phrase during the week of August 29, 2011. 157. 158 In late 2011, Beyoncé headlined 4 exclusive shows at New York's Roseland Ballroom titled 4 Intimate Nights with Beyoncé, performing songs from 4. 159. 160 That month, the album was certified platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America after shipping 1 million copies to retail stores. 161 In February 2018, 4 made Beyoncé the first female artist to have 3 of her albums surpass 1 billion streams on Spotify. 162 On January 7, 2012, Beyoncé gave birth to her first daughter, Blue Ivy Carter, in New York City. 163 In June 2012, she performed for 4 nights at Revel Atlantic City's Ovation Hall to celebrate the resort's opening. 164 2013 to 2014, Beyoncé performing in a white dress in front of a completely black background. Beyoncé performing at the Mrs. Carter Show World Tour in 2014. In January 2013, Beyoncé performed the American national anthem during Obama's second presidential inauguration. 165. 166 In February, she headlined the Super Bowl 47 halftime show in New Orleans. 167 The performance became the second most tweeted about moment in history at the time, generating 268,000 tweets per minute. 168 That same month, she co-directed and premiered her feature-length documentary Life is But a Dream on HBO. 169 Which offered an introspective look into both her personal and professional life. 170 In April 2013, Beyoncé embarked on the Mrs. Carter Show World Tour 171, released a cover of Amy Winehouse's Back to Black with Andre 3000 for The Great Gatsby soundtrack 172, and in May, voiced Queen Tara in the animated film Epic. 173. On December 13, 2013, she unexpectedly released her fifth studio album, Beyoncé, on the iTunes Store without prior announcement or promotion. 174. The album debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 chart, marking her fifth consecutive US number 1 debut and making her the first woman in the chart's history to achieve this milestone with her first 5 studio albums. 175. 176. The album received widespread critical acclaim 177 and sold 1 million digital copies globally within 6 days, a record for any album on iTunes at the time. 178. Musically rooted in electro R&B, Beyoncé explored darker, more personal themes than her previous work, including bulimia, postnatal depression, and the emotional complexities of marriage and motherhood. 179. 180. As a visual album, the album's music videos were recorded in secrecy to accompany the album's unexpected release. 181. 182. Beyoncé is credited with helping popularize digital releases, as well as surprise and visual album formats. Its release influenced the International Federation of the Phonographic Industry to adopt Friday as global release day. 183. 184. The second US single, Drunk in Love, featuring Jay-Z, peaked at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. 185. 186. Beyoncé sold 2.3 million units worldwide in 2013, making it one of the best-selling albums of the year. 187. At the 57th Annual Grammy Awards, Beyoncé received 6 nominations and won 3, Best R&B Performance and Best R&B Song for Drunk in Love, and Best Surround Sound Album for Beyoncé. 188. 189. In April 2014, Beyoncé and Jay-Z, known collectively by their stage name The Carters, announced their first co-headlining stadium tour called the On the Run Tour. 190. On August 24, 2014, she received the Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award at the MTV Video Music Awards, and won 3 additional honors: Best Video with a Social Message and Best Cinematography for Pretty Hurts, and Best Collaboration for Drunk in Love. 191. 192. The album was reissued as the Platinum Edition on November 24, 2014, featuring 6 additional songs. 193. 2015 to 2017, Lemonade. Beyoncé released the single Formation on February 6, 2016, and performed it live for the first time during the NFL Super Bowl 50 halftime show. 194. 195. The performance sparked controversy due to its perceived allusions to the Black Panther Party on its 50th anniversary, as the NFL prohibits political statements during its events. 196. On April 16, 2016, Beyoncé released a teaser for a project titled Lemonade. 197. An hour-long musical film premiered on HBO on April 23. 198. Coinciding with the release of the corresponding studio album of the same name exclusively on Tidal the same day. 199. Beyoncé with box braids, wearing a silver glittery top, shouting into a microphone. Beyoncé performing during the Formation World Tour in 2016. The album debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200, making Beyoncé the first artist in Billboard history to have her first 6 studio albums debut atop the chart. 201. All 12 tracks from Lemonade entered the Billboard Hot 100, making her the first female artist to chart 12 songs simultaneously. 202. With 115 million streams in its first week, Lemonade became the most streamed album in a single week by a female artist on Tidal. 203. It was the third best-selling album in the US in 2016, with 1.554 million copies sold, and the best-selling album globally that year, with 2.5 million copies sold. 204-205 Beyoncé embarked on the Formation World Tour from April to October 2016, with stops across North America and Europe. 206 It was the first all-stadium tour by a female artist. 207 and received Tour of the Year at the 44th American Music Awards. 208 The album's visuals earned 11 nominations at the 2016 MTV Video Music Awards, the most Beyoncé had ever received in a single year, and won 8 awards, including Video of the Year for Formation. 209-210 The 8 wins made Beyoncé the most awarded artist in MTV Video Music Awards history with 24 total awards, surpassing Madonna's previous record of 20 wins. 211 In January 2017, Beyoncé was announced as a headliner for the Coachella Valley Music and Arts Festival, which would have made her only the second female artist to headline the event. However, on February 23, it was confirmed she would no longer perform as a result of her second pregnancy. 212-213 Festival organizers later announced she would headline the 2018 edition instead. 212 At the 59th Grammy Awards in February 2017, Lemonade led with 9 nominations, including Album of the Year, and Record, and Song of the Year for Formation. 214 Beyoncé won 2 awards, Best Urban Contemporary Album for Lemonade and Best Music Video for Formation. 215 That month, Beyoncé announced on Instagram that she was expecting twins. 216 The post garnered over 6.3 million likes within a few hours, setting a world record for the most liked image on the platform at the time. 217 On July 13, she shared the first photo of herself with the twins, confirming they were born a month earlier on June 13. 218 That post became the second most liked on Instagram, following her original pregnancy announcement. 219-220 The twins, a daughter, Rumi, and a son, Sir, were born via cesarean section in California. 221-222 Later that year, Beyoncé featured on the remix of Ed Sheeran's Perfect, which reached number 1 in the US, marking her 6th chart topper as a solo artist. 223 2018-2021, Everything is Love and The Lion King. Beyoncé wearing a yellow dress with gradient dark and lighter brown hair in front of an orange wall. Beyoncé at the European premiere of The Lion King in 2019. Beyoncé headlined both weekends of the 2018 Coachella Valley Music and Arts Festival. 224-225 Her performance on April 14 was the most tweeted about performance of the first weekend and became the most watched live performance on YouTube. 226-227-228 It received widespread praise from critics, many of whom described it as historic. 229-230-231 The performance paid homage to black culture, particularly focusing on historically black colleges and universities, and included a brief reunion of Destiny's Child. 232-233 On June 6, 2018, Beyoncé and Jay-Z launched their On the Run 2 tour. After its final show, the couple released their first collaborative studio album, Everything is Love, which debuted at number 2 in the US with 123,000 album equivalent units. 234 It spawned the single Ape Shit, which peaked at number 13 in the US. 235 On December 2, 2018, Beyoncé and Jay-Z headlined the Global Citizen Festival, Mandela 100 at FNB Stadium in Johannesburg, South Africa. 236 Homecoming, a film by Beyoncé, a documentary and concert film chronicling the 2018 Coachella performances, was released on Netflix on April 17, 2019, alongside Homecoming, the live album. 237-238 The film earned 6 nominations at the 71st Primetime Creative Arts Emmy Awards in 2019. 239 Beyoncé starred as the voice of Nala in the 2019 remake of The Lion King, released in July that year. 241 She also contributed to the film's soundtrack, performing a remade version of Can You Feel the Love Tonight? 243 Beyoncé's original song Spirit was the lead single from both the official soundtrack and The Lion King, The Gift, a companion album she curated and produced. 245 Incorporating Gqom and Afrobeat, the album featured African producers to create The Gift, given the film's African setting. 246 247 248 In September, ABC aired Beyoncé Presents, Making the Gift, a surprise documentary detailing the album's creation. 249 250 In April 2020, Megan Thee Stallion and Beyoncé released a remix of Savage, which topped the Billboard Hot 100, becoming Beyoncé's 7th number 1 as a soloist. 251 In July 2020, she released Black is King, the visual companion to The Gift, written, directed, and executive produced by Beyoncé. 252 At the 63rd Annual Grammy Awards in 2021, she led with 9 nominations and won 4 awards, making her the most awarded singer and female individual in Grammy history, and the second most awarded individual overall. 253 254 255 That same year, she co-wrote and recorded Be Alive for the biographical sports drama film King Richard, earning her first Academy Award nomination for Best Original Song at the 94th Academy Awards. 256 257 2022, present, Renaissance and Cowboy Carter. On June 16, 2022, Beyoncé announced the title of her 7th studio album, Renaissance. 258 259 The album's lead single, Break My Soul, was released 4 days later 260 and peaked atop the Billboard Hot 100 261, becoming Beyoncé's 8th number 1 and 20th top 10 song on the chart. This placed her alongside Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson as the only artists in chart history to earn at least 20 top 10 singles as solo acts and 10 as members of a group. 262. Beyoncé in a completely sparkly red dress. Beyoncé performing at the Renaissance World Tour in 2023, the highest grossing tour by a female artist at the time. Renaissance was released on July 29, 2022, to critical acclaim. 263 264 The album features black dance music styles such as disco and house and largely pays homage to the historically overlooked contributions of black queer pioneers to those genres. 265 266 The album debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200, making Beyoncé the first artist to have her first 7 studio albums debut at number 1 in the United States. 267 268 All of its 16 songs charted on the Hot 100 267 with its second single, Cuff It, peaking at number 6. 269 Upon the release of Renaissance, Beyoncé revealed that it was the first installment of a trilogy developed and recorded during the COVID-19 pandemic, a period she described as her most creative. 270 271 On January 21, 2023, Beyoncé gave her first full concert in over 4 years at a private event in Dubai, performing for an audience of influencers and journalists. 272 273 She was reportedly paid $24 million for the show, which sparked criticism due to the United Arab Emirates laws criminalizing homosexuality. 274 275 Later in the year, she headlined the Renaissance World Tour across the United States and Europe, which became the highest grossing tour by a female artist at the time. 276 277 In November 2023, she released Renaissance, a film by Beyoncé, a documentary concert film that chronicled the tour's creation. She wrote, directed, and produced the film in partnership with AMC Theaters. 278 at the 65th Annual Grammy Awards, Beyoncé won 4 of her 9 nominations, bringing her total to 32 wins and making her the most awarded person in Grammy history. 279 280. On February 11, 2024, Beyoncé announced the second installment of her trilogy project and released its first 2 singles, Texas Hold'em and 16 Carriages. 281 282 Texas Hold'em became her 9th solo #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. 283 She announced the album's title, Cowboy Carter, on March 12 and released it on March 29. 284 285 An Americana-inspired record. 286 Cowboy Carter highlights the historically overlooked contributions of black pioneers to country music. 287 It debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200, with Beyoncé becoming the only female artist to debut her first 8 studio albums at #1 in the US. 288 268 The album's third single, Two Most Wanted, featuring Miley Cyrus, debuted at #6 in the US. 289 In July 2024, NBC released 2 promotional commercials featuring Beyoncé for their coverage of the 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris. 290. Beyoncé returned as Nala in Mufasa, The Lion King, 2024, a prequel to the 2019 remake. 291 In December 2024, she headlined the first ever NFL Christmas Game Day halftime show, debuting songs from Cowboy Carter. 292 At the 67th Annual Grammy Awards in 2025, she became the first black artist in 50 years to win in the country categories. 293 And the first black artist to win Best Country Album. 294 She also won Album of the Year, the first black woman to do so in 25 years. 295 That year, Beyoncé embarked on the Cowboy Carter Tour across the United States and Europe, which went on to become the highest-grossing country tour of all time. 296 297. Artistry. Musical style. Beyoncé's music is primarily R&B. 298 Pop. 299 300 and Hip Hop. 301 302 and also incorporates elements of soul and funk. 144 303 with continuous musical reinventions. 304 183 Beyoncé has been described as a musical chameleon by publications such as Vox and Billboard. 305 306 Expanding beyond the hip-hop and R&B sound she featured in her previous 2 albums Dangerously in Love and B-Day I Am. Sasha Fierce incorporates a 1980s electropop and Europop-imbued sound, featuring instruments such as synthesizers and the acoustic guitar. 307 308 With the album 4, she expanded her use of soul and hip-hop compared to earlier work. 309 310 Drawing from 1970s funk, 1980s pop, and 1990s soul influences, 4 featured elements of hard rock, reggae, and adult contemporary. 311 312 Minimalism inspired Beyoncé's self-titled album. 313 314 which employed emotive falsetto and often braggadocio, using fragmented song structures that rejected traditional pop formats in favor of atmosphere. 315 316 Lemonade incorporated a broader range of genres, including rock, country, gospel, reggae, and blues. 317 318 319 The Lion King, The Gift was conceived as a record rooted in cultural celebration. As such, Beyoncé recruited artists and producers from across the African continent and explored genres such as Afropop and Calm. 320 Delving into disco, ballroom culture, and 1990s club sounds. 321 322 Renaissance extensively made use of 4 on-the-floor beats and pulsating synths, with interpolations of queer and black dance music pioneers. 303 323 324 Beyoncé conceived Cowboy Carter as a multi-genre reclamation of Americana music. 325-326 The country and gospel-tinged epic features instrumentation such as the accordion, harmonica, acoustic guitar, and banjo. 327, 328, 329 Although she mainly records in English, Beyoncé released Spanish-language tracks for Irreemplazable, 2007, a Spanish reissue of songs from Birthday. 330, 331. Voice. Halo, 2008. Duration, 27 seconds. 0:27. Beyoncé uses her mezzo-soprano voice in Halo, 332 and R&B 333 and pop song 334 with elements of soul music. 335. No Angel, 2013. Duration, 22 seconds. 0:22. On No Angel, Beyoncé uses a high vocal register and sings in falsetto with breathy vocals. 336, 337. Daughter, 2024. Duration, 20 seconds. 0:20. Beyoncé sings in a classical operatic style to perform the 18th century aria Caro Mio Ben on Daughter. 338. Problems playing these files? See Media Help. Beyoncé's possesses a mezzo-soprano vocal range. 339. 73 T's Jody Rosen praised her musical tone and timbre as especially distinctive, calling her voice one of the most compelling instruments in popular music. 340 While Rosen credited the hip-hop era for shaping her rhythmic vocal style, he also noted her traditionalist leanings through balladry, gospel, and falsetto. 340 Her voice was described as velvety yet tart, with an insistent flutter and reserves of soul belting by John Perales. 341. On Dangerously in Love, Beyoncé's vocals balance between sultry utters and powerful belting. 342. 343 While Birthday incorporated melismatic vocals and staccato phrasing. 344. 345 Throughout I Am Sasha Fierce, Beyoncé employs vibrato yelps and trills. 308 Often singing in a lower register on several tracks. 346. 347 With 4, she opted for brass Y and grit Y vocals. 348 Love on Top has multiple key changes with sustained vocal power. 349 While growls and raspy textures characterize such songs as Start Over. 350 She embraced more breathy and airy vocals on Beyoncé, with squeaky falsettos and wordless ecstasies accompanied by spoken word and rap singing, what Kitty Empire dubbed hood rat rapping. 351 Beyoncé adopted a looser, more genre-fluid approach on Lemonade, drawing on southern roots with the twang of Daddy Lessons. 352 A hushed and intimate tone on Pray You Catch Me. 353 And raspy, distorted, and shouted vocals to channel raw anger on Don't Hurt Yourself. 354. On Renaissance, Beyoncé's vocals are processed with electronic effects such as reverb, distortion, and modulation. 355 She predominantly sings in her natural Texan accent on Cowboy Carter, with Southern American English elements. 356 However, on the Caro Mio Ben excerpt in Daughter, she adopts a classical operatic vocal style. 357 Chris Richards, in an article for The Washington Post, highlighted her vocal range and power, noting she could punctuate any beat with goosebump-inducing whispers or full-bore diva roars. 358 In Rolling Stone's 2023 list of the 200 greatest singers of all time, Beyoncé ranked 8th, with the magazine stating, "In her voice lies the entire history of black music." 359. Songwriter and themes. Beyoncé has a collaborative and experimental songwriter process, often merging different song parts to create new structures. 360, 361, 362 Early in her career with Destiny's Child, her lyrics often focused on themes of female empowerment, as seen in songs like Independent Women and Survivor. When her relationship with Jay-Z began, her songwriter style shifted to include more romantic and relationship-focused content with songs such as Cater to You. 363 Dangerously in Love explored sexual and romantic themes, with the follow-up Birthday delving into black women's personal and spiritual discontent, fulfillment, self-worth, and agency. 364 I Am Sasha Fierce examined themes of love, heartbreak, and the tension between Beyoncé's self and her stage alter ego. 347 more personal themes characterized For and Beyoncé, which delved into marriage, monogamy, and intimacy. 310 365 366 Beginning with Lemonade, Beyoncé began exploring historical and political themes. 367 Storytelling and poetry inspired Lemonade, an album that discusses black womanhood, reconciliation, and heartbreak, particularly in light of Jay-Z's alleged infidelity. 368 369 370 Scholar Emily J. Lordy described the album as a cinematic and sonic Afro-diasporic journey from betrayal to redemption. 371 Renaissance and Cowboy Carter were conceived to highlight the historically overlooked and marginalized contributions of black pioneers to American musical and cultural history. The former pays tribute to the influence of black queer artists in shaping dance music, while the latter centers on the role of black people in the development of country music. 372 373 Critics and music artists have analyzed Beyoncé's distinctive style of songwriter. Caroline Polachek, who worked on No Angel, praised her ability to make connections between ideas, and called her a genius writer and producer. 374 While writing with Beyoncé, record producer Sean Garrett described her as very particular about her brand, stating that she rejects anything that feels off-brand. 375 Dubbed a meticulous curator by The New Yorker. 376 Beyoncé has been studied by some academics as a musical archivist. 377 378 While others have likened her storytelling to that of a modern-day griot. 379 380 She has received co-writing credits on most of her songs. 381 Beyoncé often faces scrutiny over the number of writing credits she receives, with some questioning the extent of her contributions. 382 383 Influences. Black and white picture of Michael Jackson standing up for a picture. Tina Turner with a red top and black jeans in her mid-40s, singing into a microphone on stage. Beyoncé's major influences include Michael Jackson, left, and Tina Turner, right. Beyoncé has named Michael Jackson as her greatest musical influence. 384 385 At the age of 5, she attended her first concert where Jackson performed, an experience she later said helped her realize her purpose as a performer. 386 She has also credited Tina Turner as a major inspiration, admiring how she embodied strength while remaining feminine and sexy. 387 Diana Ross influenced her as an all-around entertainer. 388 And Whitney Houston inspired her to pursue performing, saying Houston made her believe she could do the same. 389 390 Beyoncé praised Madonna for her music and roles as a businesswoman. 391 She has cited Mariah Carey's vocal style, especially on her song Vision of Love, as an early influence that inspired her to practice vocal runs as a child. 392 393 Other artists that Beyoncé has mentioned as inspirations include Rachel Farrell. 394 Aaliyah. 395 Prince. 396 Janet Jackson. 397 Lauryn Hill. 398 Sada Adu. 399 Donna Summer. 400 Faraz. 401 Mary J. Blige. 402 Selena. 403 Anita Baker. 404 and Toni Braxton. 405 406 Beyoncé has cited Michelle Obama. 44 First Lady of the United States as a personal inspiration. 407 408 She described Oprah Winfrey as the definition of inspiration and a strong woman. 404 Beyoncé has stated that her husband, rapper Jay-Z, inspires her, and she has praised his lyrical talent and the challenges he has overcome. 409 She expressed admiration for artist Jean-Michel Basquiat, stating that she wants to emulate his lyrical and raw artistic traits in her music. 410 Beyoncé has named Ross and Cher as some of her fashion inspirations. 411 Videography and stage. A woman on stage wearing a structural black and yellow bodysuit resembling a bumblebee. A woman on stage wearing a colorful outfit and black sunglasses. Beyoncé featured over 148 different styles of clothing during the Renaissance World Tour, examples pictured. 412. Beyoncé's music videos are known for their visual storytelling, frequent choreography, and thematic cohesion. 413 Albums such as Beyoncé, 2013, and Lemonade, 2016, were released as visual albums, with each track paired with a music video to form a continuous narrative. 182 Beyoncé has worked with numerous directors for her music videos, such as Melina Matsuka's 414, Jonas Akerlund, 415, and Jake Nava. 416. Beyoncé is known for her meticulously produced and physically demanding performances. 417 that incorporate elaborate costumes, striking visuals, and stage design. 418 Her shows are characterized by large-scale production elements such as LED staging. 419 Supporting ensembles. 420 Theatrical props. 421 And numerous costume changes. 412 When performing, Beyoncé uses different fashion styles that coordinate with the music she is singing. 422 According to Barbara Ellen of The Guardian, Beyoncé is the most in-charge female artist on stage. 423 While Alice Jones of The Independent wrote she takes her role as entertainer so seriously she's almost too good. 424. Beyoncé has been praised for her stage presence and voice during live performances. 425 And she is often deemed one of the greatest entertainers of all time. 426 427 428 She created the alter ego Sasha Fierce to separate her stage persona from her personal attributes. She characterized her persona as too aggressive, too strong, too sassy, and too sexy, adding that she is not like her in real life at all. 429 Sasha Fierce was created during the production of Crazy in Love. 430 And was introduced with the release of her third solo studio album, I Am Sasha Fierce, in 2008. 431 By February 2010, Beyoncé stated she no longer needed the alter ego.